While 2017 seemed to be all about RGB for peripherals, I think that 2018 will be the year when wireless technology will be a must-have feature. Nearly every other gaming company has launched a range of wireless mice and keyboards with various degrees of success, except one, Corsair. And they have been quietly sitting on the sidelines waiting until the technology was mature enough to offer what gamers wanted: lightning quick response times and longevity. Now, wireless has finally progressed to a point where it may be able to consistently deliver on those items, and the result is a series of mice and keyboards that really break new grounds. But before we talk about these new products, I want to give a huge shout out to Fantex, Corsair, and Cooler Master for sponsoring our CES coverage, because without them, this just would have been not possible. The theme of this year's Corsair CES presence was unplug and play, and their new peripheral lineup reflects that. The Dark Core Mouse MM1000 mousepad and the new K63 keyboard all incorporate wireless technology in some way. Let's start with the K63. When we first saw this keyboard, it didn't look like anything more than a standard but slightly larger TKL keyboard with wire-free connectivity. However, it's the way in which Corsair went about its design that's different. Not only is there a very high quality feel to the construction, but there's some really interesting stuff that's installed within the chassis. Now, the K63 offers connectivity via a dedicated 2.4 GHz wireless channel, which offers an ultra-fast response time of 1 millisecond, but it can also be switched over to use a low latency Bluetooth 4.2 protocol. Of course, if you want to use a wired connection, that's there as well. The cool thing about the 2.4 GHz mode is that it also offers the option of AES 128-bit encryption through software, which doesn't add any perceptible lag, but adds security against hackers who may be snooping into wireless connections with keyloggers. Expect battery life of up to 75 hours of continual gaming before a recharge is required when using at a default 50% backlighting brightness. At $110, this keyboard really isn't cheap, but there's a ton of features beyond its wire-free operation. There's per-key blue backlighting, Cherry MX red switches, per-key macros, and programmable keys that can be controlled within Corsair's utility engine software. Basically, it's the blend of the best features from Corsair's current generation of keyboards baked into a compact TKL design that's also compatible with a new lapboard accessory. Moving on to mice, and the wireless trend continues with the Dark Core Rgb Mouse. This is a brand new design for Corsair with a claw grip form for right-hand users. If you don't like the format that the mouse comes in out of the box, there's a swappable side grip and two included contoured surfaces that can be changed out to match your grip type and playing style. They're held in place by pretty strong magnets, so there's no worry of them slipping off. Personally, I like the one which gave me a bit more pinky finger support, but that's just my opinion. I also happen to like the dimpled palm rest. Even though it looks a bit uncomfortable, the textured surface actually works to make sure sweat doesn't accumulate under your hand. Corsair has of course added RGB to this mouse, but in a pretty subtle way, so it isn't too flashy. It is set up in 3 different zones around the perimeter, but the really interesting stuff with this mouse lies on the inside, since it uses the same 3-mode connection options I talked about before with the keyboard. There's 2.4 GHz with a fast 1 millisecond polling rate and Bluetooth 4.2 with a low energy protocol for wireless modes, which can be changed via a switch on the Dark Core's bottom. Of course, there's Wire 2 in case if you're out of battery or just want to use the mouse while it's charging. The 128-bit encryption from the keyboard isn't available here since there's no reason to secure a wireless mouse connection. The optical sensor being used here is the Pixar 3367, which has been custom made for Corsair. It offers 16,000 dpi and a range of other features. Tracking was really good from the limited testing I did. Battery life is also supposed to be excellent with a claimed of up to 24 hours of continuous use with the RGBs enabled. Right now, it looks like the Dark Core RGB will be available before the end of January and will cost for about $80. But if you want to spend more to get a really cool bit of technology, there's also the Dark Core Rgb Se. This special edition mouse costs $90 and comes with integrated Qi wireless charging technology. This means it can be charged on any compatible Qi surface or dock. Corsair will also be offering their own Qi-compatible mousepad called the MM1000. This is a regular non-reversible hard surface mousepad, but the trick here is that small round wireless Qi charging spot in the upper right hand corner. This is quite different from the likes of Logitech's PowerPlay and Razer's new Hyperflux system, since you need to move the mouse onto a corner to begin the charging process. It can then be left there during the non-gaming sessions, so the Dark Core will be fully charged every time you want to use it. I did find that actually getting the mouse to charge was a bit of a challenge since it needs to be placed very precisely over the charging spot. Actually, aligning the 2 charging spots isn't easy, and I think Corsair should add a small guide imprinted into that mousepad. Since Corsair is using a wireless charging standard that's widely available on many smartphones and soon other devices as well, you can simply put your Qi compatible device onto the mousepad's circular area and it'll start charging while you game. Meanwhile, if your device doesn't actually have wireless charging capabilities, or you just don't want a cell phone hanging out of your mousepad, Corsair also includes a small Qi charging pad with adapters for USB Micro B, Type-C, and Lightning. Luckily, the MM1000 is large enough at 260 by 350 millimeters that a 6-inch phone can hang out on the edge and not interfere with gaming too much. Then again, if you want to charge a phone normally or plug in another device, Corsair provides a USB 3.0 pass-through port. Well, there you guys have it. What do you think of Corsair's wireless peripheral announcements at CES 2018? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm Ibar with Canucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.